What's up?
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Bullion and Beyond with RobFindsTreasure, myself, and Silver Seeker. How's it going, Seeker? Excited to be in. I know it's a Saturday. Sorry that we couldn't do it Tuesday. Sorry that we couldn't do it last Tuesday, but we're here today. Thanks to you. How you doing?
To be honest with you, I kind of would rather do this on Tuesdays or Saturdays than Tuesdays. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I agree-ish. I like my weekends a little bit, but that being said, I think Saturdays sometimes can be a little more relaxing. We have all day to plan for. We don't have the hustle and bustle of all the usual business week stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm glad we're doing it. We're supposed to do it Tuesday. Seeker had no power. Supposed to do it last Tuesday. I had stuff come up. Here we are though, and yeah, silver, stock markets, crypto. Holy cow!
Well, I'll tell you the Tuesday thing. We've had nothing but torrential downpours and storms for like the last 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure my house is about to wash away. So I'm glad that everything is good right now. There have been thunder. There's been thunder here that has shaken my whole house to the point where I could feel it through my concrete floor in the garage. Like, just, it's insane. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, markets are crazy. Silver is way down. I did a video about that yesterday. Silver's down over 12%, easily taking the biggest brunt of all the drops in precious metals for sure. And we're definitely going to talk about that today. But Rob, this is your show. We're on your channel, so I want you to take the lead.
Well, I'll take the lead, but I mean, when it comes to the precious metals dropping and stuff, and you just did a video on it, I mean, I know it'd be nice if I watched the video to get more of an in-depth analysis, but I wouldn't mind hearing just your top level quick Cliff Notes thoughts on what you think happened over the last few days. What do you think may happen? I know you're not going to give it financial advice. We're not financial advisors. You're not going to predict the silver's price, but bottom line is just your thoughts and where's it kind of going in your mind from here, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things, and I talked about a few of them in that video. I'm looking at the GSR of sitting at 102 to 1, and that has made me want to swap some of my gold into silver. Not all of it, obviously. I think it's crazy to put all of your eggs in one basket, but I think when you can take advantage of a GSR that's that high, if you believe in the GSR, I get comments from people saying that the GSR is irrelevant. That's fine. I will argue that if you had taken advantage of the GSR after silver dropped during COVID and then swapped back after the numbers tightened up, you would have done quite well. The GSR during COVID got well over 100. It was like 112 or something like that. So it depends on how you look at the markets, but that's what I want to do. I will say that I also needed to order some silver for my stacker boxes, and I was going to order it on Thursday, and I'm glad I waited, because waiting from Thursday to Friday saved me a little bit of money. And it's crazy because I'm in that whole boat of buy the dip, and it did dip on Thursday, and I actually had it ready to order on Thursday. And I tell people all the time, and I wasn't trying to do this, although maybe I was subconsciously, not to try and predict and catch the bottom, but something just kept me from ordering it, and I ordered it yesterday instead, and I'm glad I did. So as far as why it's dropping as hard as it is, I mean, all the markets are dropping, so we're not going to get into that, but why silver is taking the biggest brunt of it, I think there's a couple of factors in play. One, I think the tariffs, and this is my opinion alone, but I think the tariffs, the price of silver, I think had the tariffs baked in. And unlike gold's an industrial metal kind of, but not really. It's definitely a tier 1 precious metal, tier 1 asset.
So really quick,
sorry, go ahead. I'm talking so much.
No. I want to just clarify, because you know what you're talking about, but someone might not know. Seeker stating that the price of silver has always had probably always had the tariffs baked into its natural spot price. And when Trump had recently announced that he was not putting the tariffs on bullion, people were like, oh, okay. And that was part of the tariffs now not needing to be baked in the price anymore, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, so that's my thinking. And that's not all of it. Silver was going to drop regardless of that. Everything dropped. But I think the reason silver dropped a little bit harder than the other ones is because of that. I think, people had already baked in the price of, or the cost of the tariffs on gold and silver, are on silver specifically, because silver is such a high use industrial metal, right? So yep. Most of our silver that we import into the US is in Mexico and Canada, both countries that we are putting tariffs on. So once people found out that silver wasn't going to be tariffed, or it shouldn't be, for the record, just for clarification, what was actually said was bullion, not necessarily silver.
Bullion, yeah.
But everyone expects silver to be part of that, given that silver is considered bullion. But anyway, I think that's part of it. But we'll see what happens. I placed my order yesterday. I could have waited till Monday. I know B-Dub just said it's going to dip 6% on Monday. It might. I may have jumped the gun, but I don't know. Once we saw it dip quite a bit on Friday, right? Like a lot, and then it really kind of stabilized for the rest of Friday. And I'm just like, maybe this is where I ordered. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have waited. I don't know. But I'm still gonna trade a couple of ounces for gold of my gold into my deep stack silver. And my deep stack silver is different from the silver that I just bought. That stuff I bought for my stacker boxes. My deep stack silver is, the gold and silver in my deep stack doesn't come out of it, but I will hit it to, make a GSR trade whenever I think it's a good time to do it. So
yeah,
that was a lot to say. Rob, please talk instead of me.
And I think the other thing is this. We talked a little bit pre-stream. I think the other factor, and I don't know percentage of what factors in more, but whenever the stock market takes hits and everyone's panicked about how earnings are going to be released over the next couple of quarters with some of these huge companies now having China say, oh, we're going to tariff you back. Now that that's happened, I think people started panicking, selling a lot of their blue chip stocks. And then when that happens, of course, the stock market drops. And when the stock market drops, you typically see precious metals and crypto kind of come along for the ride. And let's face it, Thursday and Friday's drops were monstrous. I mean, they were huge. And then, of course, you saw crypto and you saw precious metals, well, mainly silver, come along with it. That being said, if you look back a year ago, everything's still higher than it was a year ago. So in my mind, it is possible we still have a little more resetting to do, especially in the stock market over the next week. I think people over the weekend were like, hey, it's going to continue to falter over the next couple of weeks. I might get out on Monday, Tuesday early. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another over $1,000 Dow Jones Industrial Average drop first thing after the bell on Monday. And then maybe it'll kind of steady out. Maybe. I'm not a predictor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you my thoughts. And I think the same will go with silver on Monday as well. You'll see it drop a little bit more, maybe 75 cents, maybe a buck, maybe more initially on Monday. But I'm hoping by next week's end, the stock market, the precious metals market starts to rebound. Maybe the crypto market rebounds. And we start seeing some stabilization going on, because we can't have 9 or 10 more business days like the last 2 business days, or it's going to be pretty rough over the next several months for sure.
No, you're not wrong. Everything is still up from a year ago. And I think there's a lot of people in panic mode, like you had kind of said, trying to get out of it before it gets to that point. So maybe there still is room for everything to drop. And I will tell you that if we do see like more major drops over this next week, I'll probably rebuy that same order if I can afford it, depending on how far it goes. So I can average out that cost of what I ordered. We'll see what happens. I may have jumped the gun and ordered too early. I don't know.
I do want to thank quickly Mike O'Malley for his $2 super chat, as well as J-Dog for what's up, J-Dog, for his $5 super chat. Really quickly, it's Bullion and beyond. So we're going to cover whatever we want to cover. And again, take it with a grain of salt. This is just our opinions and our thoughts, and we'll share them with you guys. But when it comes to XRP, Andy Pinkinky thought, what's your thoughts on that? Well, if you've been holding XRP for as long as I have, to the moon, people have been thinking it's going to be $10 stocks or $10 crypto down the road. It's never got there, but it hasn't got there in years. But it's still up pretty nicely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's over $2. I think it's $2.10 maybe. And I'm in it for like 21 cents. So I'm good. I mean, I'm happy with, I think I've done between my Bitcoin and my XRP. I mean, I have Solana and Cardano and stuff as well. And a few of the other like Fetch AI I've done decent on, but it's dropped a lot recently. But anyway, XRP, listen, it's one of my main holdings when it comes to crypto. I think that there's a lot of potential even at $2 for it to definitely double or triple. But again, that's my own thoughts. That's why I hold it.
Yeah. You guys know I'm not a big fan of crypto, but that's generally from a position of, a store of wealth. I don't think anything's a store of wealth right now.
Just like, not right now, it's not. But don't panic, it's just not right now.
Yeah, but But I have bought crypto in the past, and I have bought XRP in the past. I don't have any right now, but I did notice it's still sitting over $2. Actually, is that the only thing that didn't drop on? It's the only thing not in the red on my Kitco app right here in crypto.
It's actually held pretty well compared to most. Now it got to, I don't know what it was at. I think it was in the 240s at one point. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, I think it was 260 or 270 at one point. So it's down from its peak in the last, 6 months, 12 months, but it's actually held pretty well compared to most. There's a lot of believers in XRP or Ripple. And I got in early. I got in a long time ago when everyone thought it was going to go to the moon before the SEC regulations. And then so I got in before then, and then it jumped up, and then the regulations happened or the court filings or the proceedings, and then it dropped. And of course, that's been released now. That's why it's done well again.
Well, I don't believe in crypto, but I do believe in the ability to make money with it. So,
Oh yeah, no, and I know you still have some. So, Seekers, I agree. I think I just didn't want to. There's been so many times in my life. It's not FOMO. I make educated decisions based on what I think is educated decisions, and I'm not a FOMO player, but I have missed out on a lot of opportunities because I didn't believe and didn't listen to try to believe. And so I've opened at least one ear up several times, and I thought, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll do it. I was approached with Bitcoin back in 2015, and I think it was like $1,080 a share, and everyone was asking me to do a $1,100 investment for 10 shares. And I was like, what's this crap? And I didn't do it. I have
wallets, like old Bitcoin wallets from 2011. So I've known about it for a long time. I still don't believe in it. Do I wish I would have bought it back then? Duh. Of course. But
you wish you would have delivered pizza for 50 of them.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was 10,000. It was 10,000 Bitcoins.
It was 10,000. I know.
Okay. Just making sure. So.
Oh yeah. I didn't, I set this, everyone who watches my channel knows that I never put ads on during the stream, and they're getting ads. I didn't turn off the ads.
Yeah, he has to, because, so if you guys don't know this, he's gonna fix that now. So whenever we do these, I'm actually the one streaming. I'm just streaming to Rob's channel, but he has to set it up differently, so it's not like his regular streams. So yeah. Sorry about the ads playing. Generally, if you turn off the ads, if you turn off the automatic ads, that will give you a button. If we want to take a 5-minute break and run ads, you can click it then. But
I just turned it off. Sorry, I forgot all about it. We got so busy talking.
But I'm actually the one streaming. I'm just streaming to Rob's account. So
we do it because Seeker has otherwise I have to pay for the software as well to do it. And since he's already paying for it and it's just easy, I trust him. He can just stream when he wants on his channel and then use that same streaming software on my channel. It just makes it easier instead of us both paying for it for a once or twice a month at most broadcast.
Well, I appreciate the trust, but there's not a whole lot I could do. I just have your stream key. You could hit.
Yeah. And I can I change it after every single stream, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, you could just hit end stream, and even with the stream key, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah. So I still trust you for streaming on my channel, though.
Yeah. I get it.
I trust you, Seeker. I think I do. He's like, what does this button do?
It's hard to time the market. You rarely go wrong with dollar cost averaging, continuing to buy throughout the year, regardless of spot price. Jeff, I agree with that 100%.
DCA or dollar cost averaging is exactly how you should buy. Seeker, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No. I've been talking more than you have, so it's totally fine. I definitely agree with DCA, but I'm not going to also lie and say that I don't also buy when I see opportunity.
Yeah, so, that's the key. And here's the thing. Silver a few years ago was way less than it is even as of right now. And even if it drops another 6% on Monday and we see it at $27, $26.50. Okay. You know what that means? Go buy some more. In my opinion, dude, if you have the money available.
I was looking at so I got recommended one of my own videos the other day. Funny. And it was this video I did years ago where I bought like $10,000 worth of silver, and I did an unboxing on the channel.
Ooh, I remember that one.
Well, I got kind of curious I went and pulled the invoice for that. You know what the spot price was when I ordered that silver?
$19.70.
In the 14s.
Holy cow.
Right. Could you imagine if I reevaluated, and a lot of it was collectible stuff too. Could you imagine if I reevaluated the value, that order today?
Well, and we've said it, and Seeker just showed me a spreadsheet before the stream. I am a big fan of spreadsheets. I have Morgan Dollar spreadsheets. I have spreadsheets of stuff I've bought in the past. I have spreadsheets for when I buy collections and when I paid for stuff. I like spreadsheets. Matter of fact, I like them so much, I actually have a coffee mug. I don't drink coffee, but I have a coffee mug that says, ooh, did somebody say spreadsheet? Because that's how much I like them. And I do believe in dollar cost averaging. And if you are a geek like me and you want spreadsheets, plug it in what you bought on what day for how much, and you'll know right now what. Let's say you have, I'm going to throw a number out that's a number, 1,000 ounces of silver. You'll know, yeah, you bought some at 14, 16, 19, 34, 31, whatever, but you'll know what your average is for your average ounce. And then these types of big spikes and drops they don't hurt you. Of course, they bother you because you would love it to be higher, but they don't bother you because it means it's either a buying opportunity, or more than often, that's likely you're still in a better position with your dollar cost average purchases to be under the current situation. Technically.
Right. Technically, yeah.
Not always, but yeah.
By the way, I noticed Resin Dragon's in the chat. What's up, Resin?
What's up, Resin?
What was that?
Seeker, what do you think over the next couple of weeks we may see when it comes to, and I know we're not predicting price, just with silver in general? If you were going to talk to somebody who's like, I'm getting into it today, and how would you cover the last week? How would you cover the week after that? And what would your advice be over the next several months? That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. How I would explain.
What would you do? Because I don't have a way to talk anymore.
How I would explain this last week is kind of how I did it at the beginning of the stream as to why I think that it took a drop, but I would be very clear that there's no guarantee, with anything, and that silver, like any other investment, you can call it a stack, you can call it a hedge, whatever. There's still going to be risk. As far as getting into it, though, I would say buy the absolute cheapest silver you can find, period, right now. Like rounds, cheap bars, 90%, just whatever. I'll tell you this, I noticed, when I was looking at the order on Thursday and Friday, the premium on the order that I placed, the rounds went up. So throughout the day, I had it in my cart, and I'm just watching it. And I know I've already said this twice. Don't try and predict the bottom, but sometimes I don't listen to my own advice, all right? But I was trying to not hit the bottom, but I was just trying to hit a certain price point. I'm not going to say what the number is in the chat, but I told myself, if my cart total hits this number, I'm clicking buy now. And by the way, I stuck to that, and it did hit that number, right? So I said either that or I was going to buy it after the market closed no matter what. But if I see it hit this number, I'm going to buy it immediately. And so it finally hit that number and ordered it. But what I did notice in that time when I was kind of watching it is that the premium went up 30 cents. And not just in one hit. It went up 10 cents. And then about an hour later, it went up 10 cents more. And then another hour, it went up about 10 cents more. So not only did I have to wait for the market to drop, to hit that number, it had to drop 30 more cents than it did when I first added it to the cart because the premiums were going up. So I think we are going to see premiums go up a little bit on a lot of silver, but what I did not see was the premiums on 90% go up. So the premiums on rounds went up, the premiums on bars went up, the premium on 10-ounce bars went up. 90% premiums are still, that wholesale sheet that I share in my video sometimes, are still 15 cents back a melt. So there's a lot of 90% out there. And that might be the cheapest stuff to get. Granted, you're not going to get the most for it when you sell it, but right now, if silver is getting cheaper, get as much silver as you can. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's sound advice, and we haven't talked a lot about just buying 90 versus bullion, and you talked about both. I agree. Buy generic silver rounds. And then, of course, right now, there's going to be a lot of dealers that are in the negative, though. Is it going to be tough to go find 90%? Because if I walk into a coin shop or a silver dealer or whoever, if they recently bought in the last week and I walk in on Monday, are they going to have available bullion and silver for me to buy at the current market price, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how local shops are going to react to this. I will be covering it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
absolutely.
that would be a great video.
Oh no, it's already in my notes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to. Take
No,
credit.
I'm saying this to the viewers though. I have about 40 of these that are complete, like just stacked up from over the years. I'm a techie guy, very much a techie guy. I still do all of my notes. I do all of my thinking. I do all my thoughts on paper with a pen. So it's in this book. Trust me.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. Silver's dropped a lot. You call shops to see what they have available and what their current price is today. And then if it drops on Monday and Tuesday, call again Wednesday and see what the new prices are. I'm just curious because if I was a silver dealer and I bought 10,000 ounces on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday happened, what am I selling it at? And is it available or not as of today?
So if it's a good coin shop, it's available and they're going to sell it at market price, regardless of whether they take a loss. And here's why. Because a good coin shop is going to sell on replacement, not on what they paid. So a good example of this is, let's say you're a coin shop and you buy 1,000 ounces and spot's 35. Well, tomorrow spot drops to 30. And you sell it at 32, so spot plus 2. You've now sold your silver. Let's say you paid no premium as a shop, probably did, but my point is, you sold your silver at a $3 loss. However, you can now reorder that silver from your wholesaler for now 31, right? Or 30.
Yep.
So you're going to keep the same amount of silver inventory, and you're going to make the difference between that order. So if it's a good shop, they're not going to pull their silver. When they would pull their silver, and this happened in COVID, right? Right after the COVID scare, right after the shutdowns, this actually happened. When shops would pull their silver is when the price gets so low that even the wholesalers are like, nah. And so if a shop has nowhere to reorder the silver from, if they have no way to replace it, and the price is way under what they paid, they will pull it. But as long as they have a place to source it, they are going to sell it, unless it's an idiot. I'm sorry, unless it's a bad shop. Sorry, I should have been nicer. If you're a bad businessman would pull their silver, and good ones that have the connections to replace it will still sell it, and try and move it out, and then work on replacement cost. So yeah,
I agree, and I kind of knew the answer, because at the end of the day, if you're in small town USA and you're a coin shop that's living day to day as far as balance sheet and trying to stay in business, you probably don't have much available that you want to take a loss on. But a typical coin shop, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth where I live, Metroplex, they're buying and selling all the time, and so yeah, they might take a loss on this that they just recently bought, but now they're buying stuff that's so much cheaper, they're just flipping it anyway. And I was told a long time ago by a guy who used to be a financial planner and then was planning for a couple of local coin shops out here, and said, I'm going to open up a we buy gold and silver shop, because he saw the potential there. He's the one who told me that, I don't worry about that. I just turn inventory and it works out. It works out.
Yep. Bridget Clark says, imagine if silver became $5 an ounce. So we don't predict spot price here, and I'm not a financial advisor. Not happening. We're just going to let it go with that. And it's just, in this world, the dollar is just not worth enough for silver to get as low as $5. It's just, unfortunately, that's just a fact. I mean, the dollar is worth last time silver was $5 was early 2000s. The dollar is worth so much less than it was in the early 2000s that silver could just not hit $5 an ounce again. It just can't happen. It's not happening. Husker Cluck says, not that long ago it was $12. No one sold it at $12. No shops were that's what I just talked about when I said it didn't happen during COVID. No one sold at $12. Wholesalers weren't selling. Online bullion dealers pulled their inventory.
It said out of stock on everything. You couldn't buy.
Local shops weren't selling. Nobody sold at $12. It hit $12 on the paper market. Nobody was selling physical silver at $12. Not one person. So $12 on the sheet is not $12 in physical silver. It just did not happen. That's just, if you were buying paper silver, I guess you could have got some PSLV for that.
As a quick reminder, We do have questions in the chats that we sometimes answer if we see them. If you have a question that hasn't been answered so far and it's relevant to what the current discussion is, or maybe something a little bit outside the current discussion, feel free to put it in the chat. If I see it, I'll bring it up. But yeah, and abandoned alleyway exploration. Do you think Trump will bring back constitutional silver? No. There's no reason to bring it back because the face value would be 20 times less than what the silver content's worth. So he's already trying, along with Musk, to reduce government spending and losses. And right now, just minting nickels and pennies is losing the government money. So I don't think they'd mint stuff out of silver at face value. No. Now, if they minted stuff at face value and sold it as collector things, like if you could get a 1964 original Washington quarter design or an SLQ design minted in 90% silver with a new die that's very close to the original with the new date on it, that would be some collector stuff I'd be into big time. I'm surprised the mint hasn't figured out that yet and minted 90% stuff. They touched on it with the Morgan dollars and the peace dollars. They minted an original design. Technically, I know it had the privy on the back with the other mints, but it was still like a very close to the original design, but they put it on 100% or 99% silver. So 3/9 fine silver, not the same. And it didn't have the same luster in the finish.
Well, that's because in 19, they stopped producing 90% coins.
I know, but they can make them again. It's not like yeah.
So I
they came out with a 250-year anniversary set in 2026 and reminted all of the most iconic coins of every design in their original composition and made that a mint set. It'd be hard not to buy.
I haven't ordered from the mint since 2021, but
I know that, but it'd be hard. That's why I say it'd be hard not to buy, though.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just saying I haven't ordered since 2021, but yeah, I agree that it's yeah, that's a yeah, that's a yeah. It would be hard not to buy. I agree. I'd probably buy it on the secondary market though, just so I can still say I haven't ordered from the mint since 2021. But I'm still salty about that. I don't hold a lot of grudges. You know, the people that know me in real life know I'm pretty easygoing. I don't get offended easily, but the mint really got to me after the 2021 Morgan thing, and that was it for me. So I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, 2 bits, John Seeker. I got a question for you.
Sure.
He tagged us both. PTF Stacking asks, what do you see the higher level numismatic market doing with the changes in the markets right now?
I would rather you answer that because I've been answering a lot of questions, and you are actually better than me at that market. So please, have at it.
Well, I got to think about this question a little bit. What do you see the higher level numismatic? Okay. Numismatics really don't follow spot price. They follow collectability. And I think every year, well, maybe not every year, it's a little bit quick. Every 5 to 10 years, as an influx of coin collectors comes into numismatics, you will see older coins, more collectible coins, higher grade coins. You will see those values continue to rise. Let's face it. There are a lot of collectors that are still alive today that are in their last 20 years, probably. Every day someone passes, unfortunately. Those coins get passed on. But before the internet age, those coins would get passed on and family members would have no resource, no way to look them up. They couldn't trust a local person, and that stuff would get dumped in the banks at face value. As the internet's become more and more popular, even the most naive people, although it still happens, that's why I coiner hunt, even them can Google something, especially if it's in a flip or in a book, they'll look it up, they'll see it has value, and those coins remain outside, those coins remain for other buyers to purchase, who also know the value, who also know what the inflated value is nowadays because there's less and less of them available. And so numismatics has been constantly getting an uptrend, especially on semi-key date coins, if they're minted in precious metal or if they have high collectability with low mintages. I mean, I'll give an example. The 50D is not a precious metal on the nickels. Its value has really just stagnated for 30 years. But it's still worth way more than a nickel, and it still sells for way more than a nickel. And if it's high grade, it sells way more than that. So I guess my point to hold the discussion is high numismatics, higher level numismatics, they don't follow the stock market. They don't follow spot price. They're on their own level of pricing based on the collectability. Although if silver were to hit, I'm not predicting $100 an ounce, every Morgan dollar would be worth a lot more overnight, even the common ones. So they don't follow them, but obviously they will trail them like the dust of a comet passing through the solar system.
Yep. Jana Bosak said, this isn't a comment to us, but I'll read it because it's interesting. I don't trust anyone about my coins, especially local coin guys that have been around for 50 plus years. They'd hope you sell them at face. You know, it's funny. I've told this story on the channel before, but I'll tell it again. And people got mad, okay, at this person, and it wasn't me, but I knew a guy who witnessed. Remember I told you, Rob, that bucket of 90% that shop in St. Louis? Yeah. So I know a guy who witnessed a shop try and take advantage of an old lady by she brought in a bucket of 90% her late husband had collected, and they tried to tell her it wasn't worth anything, but offered to count it up in their coin machine and give her the cash. So that she wouldn't have to haul that heavy bucket around. So, just saying, that
kind of stuff makes me so mad.
Yes, agreed, and it's a valid concern from Jana there, which is why I said it. So
I imagine that. Imagine that's your grandma. She's lost her husband. Husband's been a stacker forever. He left her that as a savings. A 5-gallon bucket full of 90%. I mean, I don't know what it's worth, but let's just say there was a $2,000 face in there. Times that by even 15 times. I mean, that's 30 grand. She had more than that, but that's just rough estimates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A 5-gallon bucket is different than your piggy bank at home that has non-silver nickels, dimes, and pennies in there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
You know what, Jana? You know what advice I would give to someone in that position, in your position, saying they know we don't know? Don't go to one place. Take it to multiple places and let them know you're shopping around. Because if they know that you're going to go somewhere else and get a price, they're much more likely to give you a good value. And if it's a really bad shop, and I've heard of this happening before, I've not experienced it myself, but I've heard of shops straight up saying, oh, well, if you're just going to go shop around, I'm not going to waste my time. If they're not willing to waste your time and give you an offer because you're going to go shop somewhere else, then that's not a shop you want to be at anyway. Because the reason they don't want you shopping around is they're likely going to take advantage of you. But go to multiple shops, tell every single one of them you are shopping around to get the best price, and then get some quotes. Do not trust one place. Do not do that. You can also try a coin show where there's multiple dealers on the same show floor. That you can also do.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if we covered this in a previous stream. Can't remember. But if you're 50, I'll give you an example. Last year, I had a health scare, and I really thought that my time was going to be coming to a close. And so I quickly pulled my wife aside, and I gave her notes on this stuff, call Silver Seeker. This stuff, talk to this person. It's my silver dealer name. And this stuff, call this guy who knows how to take care of this financial stuff. And I left her a cheat sheet so that she knew if something happened, what to do with what I have and not let it go to waste. And so think about that. I'm not saying that we don't want to be like end of days here or scary, but if you don't have a cheat sheet in your safe or with your whatever you got, you should put one together. And if you want to put my name on there to contact Rob, I'm fine with that. I don't want a million phone calls, but if you're one of my subscribers, I'll definitely make sure I take the time to answer any family questions that need to come up. But bottom line is, have a cheat sheet. Don't let a loved one get taken advantage of when you're gone by not having some prepared things in place with your stack.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Agree 100%. My wife has that as well, so... You were smiling at something, Rob. I'd love to know what it was.
Definitely Tiger says, bring back the shirtless SLQ. Well, yeah.
You mean the chainmail-less SLQ?
Yeah.
So Ty says, was it Ty? Oh, Bill says, LOL, just watched one of Seeker's videos a week ago, go into multiple I did that. That was more than a week ago. That video was, I think, a couple of months ago now, where I went or a lot more than a couple of months ago if it was pawn shops. I don't remember. Boy, people, you know what?
Conrad's smart. A cheat sheet. You're right. I did the same thing. Yep. I'll be honest, and I'll share it really quick. Really quick. It's not about me, and I don't. It wasn't true. But I had a doctor who did a blood work on me, and he did some. He made me poop in a cup and did all that stuff, and he said you have pancreatic cancer. That's all my symptoms said I had that. My poop said I had that. My blood said I had that. I was like, it's over for me. Like, we're done. Like, that's a death sentence. So I sat with Charlani and I covered everything with her. My 401k, my crypto, I gave her I gave her everything. Then I thought, wait a minute, what if she's poisoning me? Just kidding. But bottom line is, it took 2 weeks to see a second doctor. And that doctor said, no, you're on these medications. You're doing these things. You've had all this radiology and stuff done. You've taken all these different things. That I had a nuclear bone scan, which you take radiation in your system. He goes, this has all caused these symptoms and these things. You don't have that. And so we went through a 2-week scare where I thought it was over for me to where it wasn't. But in that 2 weeks, I did think, why didn't I have all this ready for her in the first place? So my sad and emotional advice, well, I'm not going to get emotional, but my sad advice is have a contingency plan for the loved ones so that they, at least when you meet your maker, they have a way to cash in what's rightfully theirs that you've worked hard or that you both worked hard to put aside. There it is. Boom.
Sam asked if you actually...
I don't, Sam.
No, I was going to say. So I have a document that's backed up and my wife has access to, and only her. In fact, the only way she can log into it is if she's already logged into my Microsoft account. Otherwise, it's encrypted. Maybe I shouldn't have shared that. Anyway, it has...
We're being extra sherry today, which is fine. We trust the viewers watching.
Well, they don't know where it is, so whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to get to my account. So anywho, my point is it has all of my accounts, all my passwords, all my contact info, everyone you need to talk to, call, all life insurance policy information, everything is sitting in documents that she has access to. So you don't want to leave your loved ones with all, everything you have going on and no idea what to do with it, because that's how they get taken advantage of. So, yep. Where were we at? Where's something else we were?
Anyway, I do want to think. So bottom line is, yes, silver might drop on Monday, Tuesday. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw the stock market down on Monday, but unless you're retiring and pulling money out of 401ks in the next 6 months, none of this is realized gain or realized losses. I mean, we're all working. I mean, even me, who's going to be 51 next month, I still got 14 more years. Technically, I got about 16 more years till I'm touching it, because, if I could, you could touch it as early as 62, 65, 60. It doesn't matter, but 62 is the worst case. 65 is the normal case. 67 is about the prime. And then 70 is the end of the road as far as now you're maxed out. And, I'm going to let it sit there as long as I possibly can. So I'm not in a hurry. I got somewhere between 10 and 19 years to worry about what the market's at that point.
Well,
it's still there. Just kidding.
Like I said to Rob before the stream, I said, hey, if you actually go into red on your investments, just sell it all, write off the losses, and then buy it back when you think it's at the bottom.
Yeah, write off the losses.
Yeah, you can write off capital loss. I mean, and then sorry.
Seeker, keep talking. We will have a giveaway at 6:55. I forgot. I gotta go. I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna pull it out real quick. So, Seeker, if you want to cover something beyond, that'd be great too. All alone.
Oh man. Oh, my camera's not adjusted for this scene anymore because my chair. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Hello everybody. This is supposed to be Rob's show, but I guess I'm going live on Rob's, and I got full control right now, so I can say whatever I want, and maybe even get his whole channel banned. What do you think about that? What should I say? We were going to talk about something. There was a comment that I saw up that I wanted to check on, or that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot what it was. So you guys should ask a question, because if silver price is too low, I don't know. I missed the giveaway already. Yeah, I actually am lost. I don't know what to talk about right now, Rob. Give me something.
All right, I'm back. I got it.
Okay, all right, good. Woo!
If you could show me by myself really quick, I want to just show the giveaway that we'll do at 6:55.
Gotcha.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're there.
Okay.
Oh, I know it's a delay for you. You're
There's a
there.
delay. So at 6:55, I'm going to give away a 1960 proof Ben Franklin $50. Hopefully that's coming out okay. I don't know if I need to do anything here, but it's a 1960 proof Benji. So yeah, it's a nice coin. Can't get mad at that. And yeah, that's what we got given away at 6:55.
Sounds
and
good.
It will be a question related to the stream of some sort. Seeker's going to choose it though.
You know what stinks is I had something I wanted to talk about. It would have been perfect for when it was just me for a second, and I forgot about it because I forgot about it because you said go to yourself. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, oh yeah, totally forgot.
Really quickly, full bell lines only applies to business strike coins. All proof coins have full bell lines assumed. So a proof coin having full bell lines, or even a full steps proof nickel, or even a full bands dime, or it doesn't matter. All proof coins are already struck with sometimes double struck or double pressed, however you want to call it. They're already assumed to have those, so it's not applicable. Only business strike coins minted for circulation does it matter about the bell lines, the bands, or the steps. So yeah, it does have full bell lines as assumed for a proof Benji.
You know what you should do with a really good Benji with full bell lines, like a hard to get full bell line state? You should take it to somebody and cut the bell out and then put it on your necklace.
First of all, Seeker, I know you know this, but not everyone understands the significance of some of the 50s S-minted Benjis. If you have a Benji album that has beautiful BU Benjis in it, you better be checking your 1949, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54 S's, because if those have full bell lines, that should be out of the album, submitted to PCGS or NGC, and get it graded, because they're worth thousands. They're almost impossible. But yeah, cut it out, Seeker. Really? Cut it out.
For the record, I was kidding, but
I know you
Rob,
were.
you should watch the stream back and just watch your face after I said that for a second. It was hilarious. You looked lost. You looked like a deer in the headlights for a second. It was so funny.
Full bell Benjis in the 50s, impossible for most collectors to grab. They've already been grabbed and graded right out of the mint sets. And then that's why when I go to coin shows and I buy Benjis, I do look for cameo on old mint sets, and I look for bell lines on old circulator coins, circulator Benjis. Same thing with the Jefferson nickels. Don't let them get away. Those 40s and 50s Jefferson nickels with full steps, almost impossible.
Hey, Charlani. I see Charlani's in the chat.
Oh, wow. Well, nice of you to stop by. Just kidding. Hi, Charlani. That's my wife.
She could always just come and put her face in the camera.
She could, but she's like, my name's enough.
You're all right. Fair enough. My wife's not going to come put her face in front of the camera either, so I totally get it. So what else do we want to talk about? We got some time left. We got about 17 minutes. After I have to come up with a question. Ooh, we can talk about something else.
I saw someone ask earlier, really quick. They asked earlier, what are my guesses on copper? I mean, listen, copper's done well. I've cashed in. Those that don't know, I did a shorts video that I had over 250,000 copper pennies. It got to almost 350,000 copper pennies. And so Shalani is going to be proud of this. But I had over, 150 boxes of 15 pounds worth of copper cents. And I listed them. I listed 100 of them. And the 100 of them sold out when Trump said no more pennies. I don't know what happened. I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and 77 of the boxes were sold overnight. And all I did for 2 days was bag up and ship copper pennies, but at 4 times their value. I was fine with it. I moved them. Hey,
nothing wrong with that. We can talk about how yesterday my daughter's boyfriend wanted to take her to see the Minecraft movie. And there was like 1,000 showings in the theaters around us, and every single seat was sold out of every single one of them. And we can compare that to how Snow White went.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Sean, he sent me the Minecraft movie link, and I thought about my son's coming here in a couple weeks, and him and I play Minecraft, so I thought maybe I'll take him. Resin Dragon has a question for you, Seeker.
What are your plans for silver pours this year? Does your plan change based on how high? No, my plan, that doesn't actually affect it at all. I'm happy to pour silver. I haven't poured silver in 4 months, 5 months, 4 months, somewhere in that time. I need to pour some more silver.
Seeker, have you ever seen my Hand of the King silver pour?
Dude, that's baller. Is that? Do you have a mold for that, or did you sandcast that?
That is sandcasting.
I was gonna say it looks like sandcasting because of the bottom there.
Yeah, it's sandcasting because I over poured it, but I called him Stouting a Heart. But that's the Hand of the King right there. That's a beautiful 12-ounce silver pour, and I'm never selling it. Listen to it.
Oh my God, so hard to believe Little Seeker is old enough to have a boyfriend. She's old enough to start learning how to drive, and she's very adamant about it, and I'm not happy about that. So.
Oh my gosh, Little Seeker's already got a boyfriend and almost driving?
Yeah, she's studying the driver's guide now so she can get her permit.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, nothing to do with premium. I didn't pour the last year and a half because of health concerns. And but I will be pouring a lot this year. I already have over 150 ounces of copper, not pennies. I get asked all the time. No, I have generic copper rounds that I purchased for cheap. I have copper wire that I have grabbed. I have copper wire that was gifted to me. I have brass, spent brass, and then I have silver that I'm going to make a lot more pours on this year as well. But those videos, I make those videos, and not a lot of people appreciate those videos the way that I would think they would. And so typically I either don't film them, or if I do, it's very rare. But yeah, I'm going to be pouring a lot.
Sam Wilson says, teach her how to drive a stick shift. You know, the issue that I'm having right now is I don't have a car to teach my daughter how to drive in. I have to use one of my sons. Because one thing I'll tell you about EV is it's not a good car to teach a kid to drive in. You know why that is, by chance, Rob?
Nope.
Well,
because it's too automated?
It's not because it's too automated. Well, kind of, I guess, if you think about it, but because of regen braking. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It's hitting that brake pedal needs to be literally second nature. And there's times where I will take entire drives where I don't touch it. So, yeah, I need a regular car to teach her how to drive in.
An older stick-shifted 80s vehicle and say, once you can drive this, you can drive everything.
So I learned how to drive in a stick, and my dad made me come to a hill on a stop without touching my brake, without shutting the car off before he allowed me to
go to San Francisco and try to parallel park up a hill over there with a stick shift.
Yeah,
it's very tough.
I want to edit those pour videos. It would be so fun. If I do pour videos, it would have to be on another channel. It would have to be. The way that my channel is shifted, pours don't fit into the algorithm. And it's not that people don't like pours. It's just that YouTube doesn't recommend my videos to people that like pours.
The only way you could do that, Seeker, is if you played the game of the title by saying, I melted, like let's say you went to a coin shop and you bought all of their not face value, their regular ASEs that have been circulated and damaged and just getting rid of them. And then you melted those into your own pour. Right. Then you could say, I melted, 10 ASEs to make this. So, I mean, then it would probably fit your algorithm a little bit differently, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Someone said, I finally learned to stick and they quit making them. So, dude, I like driving stick shifts. I really do. I do not want to park on a hill in San Francisco like Rob just said, though, with one. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten spoiled. I have a car with no transmission, and it's actually pretty nice. So, I'm spoiled at this point.
Yeah.
No transmission at all. I mean, I guess it has one gear technically, but it's not actually a transmission. So,
Lonnie taught me how to drive a stick. Her first car was a stick, and mine wasn't. And I had to learn on her when we were first dating. She taught me how to drive a stick. Then I had to teach her. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next thing.
My first car was a 1989 Dodge Spirit, and it was a stick shift. Can you believe they even made those in stick shift?
My first car was a 1979 Ford Thunderbird with a 351 Cleveland. That was a gas guzzler, but could outrun the cops.
There you go. There you go. I mean, do you really want to outrun the cops, though?
No. I'm just saying it could.
Okay.
And tell them what happened. No, Shalani. We're not going to talk about how I learned how to drive a stick shift, okay?
Sierra Charlie says, I thought our cars were all supposed to be driverless by now. We're getting there.
Close.
The FSD in my car is insane. Like I've taken multiple hour drives where I don't touch the steering wheel. So it's there. It's getting there. It's not there yet, but it's getting there.
Nice. 1969 GTO. That's a nice car.
That's a beautiful car. Do you actually have that, or did you learn how to drive in that? Like, 71 Dodge Dart. There you go.
What are we missing, Seeker? Anything else? We have 5 minutes before the giveaway and 9 minutes for the stream ends, roughly. Is there anything we need to cover? Is there any more questions regarding, our thoughts on bullion or on? Well, actually, we didn't talk about gold much.
Oh,
gold didn't really get impacted too much. What are your thoughts on why gold is still over 3,000? I mean,
gold's like 30-50, ain't it?
I know it's
30-38. I mean, it took a 2.5% hit on Friday, and then I don't think it took much of a hit at all the day before. Yeah, gold's done well. I mean, where is gold right now compared to where? I don't even think gold dropped under where it was last week. What? Shut up, phone. God.
Yeah, gold. It dropped on what was it the other day, like $70, but it hasn't really done much.
Who's better looking, Rob or Seeker? Oh, that's easily Rob.
Well, if Seeker had a beard, he'd probably be better looking, but he doesn't want to grow the beard out.
I don't know about that.
Come on, Seeker, grow the Bushman beard. Let's be beard bros.
1 month ago, gold was 29.11. Today it's 30.50. It hasn't even dropped under where it was a month ago.
But Seeker covered the ratio, Steve. Yeah, it's over $100.
Oh,
GSR?
You mean over 100 to 1?
That's what I meant.
The current GSR is exactly, hold on. Maybe, there we go. 102.29.
It's not often that it gets over 100. It happened, like Seeker said, in 2020. You got to buy it when it's 100 to 1.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm swapping a couple. And I know, again, some people don't like, the GSR, but that's why I'm still swapping a couple ounces of gold for sure. Beard bros. Mrs. Seeker would throw a fit if I grew a beard. She does not like beards. I would never get kissed again.
What's funny is my cousin, when she was 16, 17, and we were all in our 20s, my brothers and I, we had beards and mustaches and goatees. She was like, oh, you boys would be so much better looking if you just didn't have facial hair. You know what she ended up doing? Marrying a guy with a beard, dating guys after beards after that, now dating another guy with a beard. Once you have a beard, Seeker, they don't go back.
Seeker keeps losing weight. Thanks, Link. My weight loss has dropped off a little bit. I haven't lost as much as I was, but I'm still down a little bit. It didn't help today that I had Oreo cheesecake brought to me.
Beginner silver stacking tips. A few people agreed with Beth. They would like to hear that.
Beginner silver stack. I actually said it already.
I know you did, but just read.
If you're going to get into silver, right now, especially with the spot dropping, buy the cheapest silver you can find, no matter what it is, whether it's 90%, whether it's rounds, whether it's 1 ounce bars. This is not financial advice, but I would literally get as absolute much silver as I could for my money, period. Like, I know that the premium on sellback on 90% is low right now. I wouldn't care about that. I would just find out how much silver I can get for my money and get that much, period. So, I mean, it's that simple. I wouldn't bother with eagles. I wouldn't bother with maples. I would literally just get the most silver I can get. If maples are the cheapest, get maples. My point is, get as much silver as you can, period. The most silver you can get for your money, period.
And my Seeker would have covered it as well. My top on that is don't ever invest, or not invest, but don't buy more than you can afford. Pay your bills first. Whatever's left over, put aside, whether it's weekly or monthly, and then take a trip to a place where you know gives good value and make the purchase. And don't be afraid to once in a while. If you just buy always cheap, and maybe it's not as fun. If a piece calls to you in a shop and it does have a little bit of a premium, but let's say you like pirate ships and this piece has a beautiful toned pirate ship on it, it's okay to buy. You want to have some stuff to play with and look at and enjoy and have on your desk in front of you. There's stuff for your safe and stuff for your stack, and then there's stuff that you just want to be able to have in front of you to enjoy. So don't be afraid of getting some of those once in a while. Otherwise, it becomes a chore or a burden. or it just becomes something you're spending money on and you're not having fun with?
Let me add to that. So one, yes, 100%. Never go into debt. Never go crazy. Never FOMO onto silver. Silver's going to be there to buy a month from now. It's going to be there to buy 2 months from now. Don't go crazy because someone told you that you better buy silver now before it goes to $1,000 an ounce or before it's it's unaffordium, as they say. Don't do that. Don't do it. As far as the collectible silver, I agree. And I've said many times, and I've shown pieces off on this channel that I've paid way too much money for. But right now, if it were me, not financial advice, not telling you what to do, but if it were me and if I were getting the silver right now, I wouldn't even care about that. With the spot price dropping where it is right now, all I would go for, and that's all I'm doing right now. Like, as a collector, I'm kind of ignoring collectible pieces right now. All I'm doing right now is buying absolutely as much silver as I can get for the money that I have. If I have $100 to spend, I want to get the most silver I can get for that $100, right? I don't want to get less silver because I got a collector piece. That you can do later when things balance out. But with the market going down, I would just get the most silver you can, because if it keeps dropping, it's not going to hurt as bad if it goes down some more, because you'll have more silver and the value will be there. Anyway, that's my thoughts. But in a normal market where everything's balanced and not falling off the roof, yeah, collectible pieces are fun. I have plenty of them. I love them. But
all right, we're at 6:56. I have to do the giveaway really quick, so it's done.
So it has to be. So the question has to be about something that was brought up during the stream, no matter what, right?
Yep. And
okay.
I want you to pick one. I have a backup one in case you don't have one, but I want to go with yours.
I have one, but it's not silver or gold related. Do you still want me to use it?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay,
it's just
perfect.
Related. We'll know who's been here the longest. It rewards those.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post a question in chat. And then the first person to give the answer in response to the question will be the winner. And the reason I'm posting it into the chat is because some people may be a few seconds behind of others, and I don't want someone to have an unfair advantage, whereas chat, they should all be caught up to the same place. So, hold on. All right. So we're going to do it's 10 seconds, so we're going to do a 10-second countdown. So, just be watching the chat, okay? Be watching the chat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First answer, go. Because
that's a tough one.
We did bring it up earlier.
That is a tough one.
And I have not seen the answer yet. I'm on their website now, so I know I have the right answer. Really don't have the answer yet. Holy smokes. I'm literally staring at it. So I'll refresh the page. There it is. There it is. Joseph Lopez. So I'm on IMDb's website right now, and it's at 1.6. So wow, Joseph Lopez.
Terrible. I was just Googling it to see if I could find it, and that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Resin was close with 1.5, and I think it did hit 1.5 for a while, but Joseph Lopez had 1.6.
All right, Joseph Lopez, how this works is pretty simple. If you put, I don't know if I have, this should work. I think if I hit exclamation point email, I don't know if I have him. I don't know if I have, there it is. Streamlabs put it up. There's my email in the chat. You send me an email with your shipping information and you just win yourself a Proof Benji giveaway. Thank you for being here for sure.
Dude, yeah, definitely appreciate you guys being here. Another thing is we should be like 99% sure. The reason I always say 99% and not 100% is because you know how life is, right? But yep. 99% certain we will be live again for another Bullion and Beyond on Tuesday.
Just Tuesday. This is the makeup for the one I missed, and then we still have Seeker's regularly scheduled program on Tuesday.
Yes, and we're going to have a special guest with us on this one.
We do have a special guest on this one.
Our first guest on the show. So you guys have to wait and find out who it is, but make sure you join us for that special guest. It should be a lot of fun. So yeah, we're at an hour. Should we wrap it up?
Hour. We don't have any stream to recommend going to next, like we normally do. Would be Keith's, but we said an hour. It's an hour. Thank you for those watching. Thank you for those that end up first time watching the replay. And yeah, hopefully we answered a lot of questions. If not, leave a comment on the stream if you rewatch it with a question, and I will do my best to give you only my opinionated answer. Not a financial advisor. You know this. I'm just giving you what I think. Seeker?
Rockzilla says, are we getting a Seeker stream next? Yes, the next one will be on my channel.
It'll be on Seeker's channel next. So if you're not subscribed to Seeker or me, please take advantage. Actually, you couldn't comment if you weren't subscribed to me, so thank you. But also, every one of these episodes is in either Seeker's channel's playlist or my playlist, which is called Bullion and Beyond. It's just a playlist of all the streams.
And you can actually find that entire playlist at bullionandbeyond.com.
Oh, yeah. It's on bullionandbeyond.com as well.
Yep. So.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
Have a good night, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, and we will